The gangly punks turned to look at me, all three of them sizing me up. I smirked when I saw them realize I was bigger than all three of their scrawny asses put together. I gave them my best glare, staring at each one of them. "We're customers," one of them said. "You can't talk to us like that. You're not my customers. Get out before I take you out, one by one." They gave me a dirty look, turned to sneer at Cassia, and walked out, cursing and bitching the whole way. I let out a breath. I wasn't really a fighter. I was a big guy, and I had the Italian stallion thing going. But I was really a big softy. I wasn't entirely sure what I would do if someone tried to take me up on one of my threats. I would probably cry and huddle in a ball.
"You love me,"
Cassia said with a grin after the boys were gone. I raised an eyebrow. "No, I don't."
"Yes, you do. You love me. You stood up for me."
She grinned bigger. "You're a royal pain in my ass and one of the 3 employees I have."
"Here I thought you were mad at me today,"
she said in a sing-song voice.
"But you love me."
I groaned. Shut up. Next time, you can deal with them yourself."
"I would have dealt with them, but then you'd have to buy a new glass case,"
she said. "You weigh 100 pounds soaking wet," I replied. She giggled.
"And they weighed like 150.
I nodded. "True. I'm going to the office. Try not to flirt with the customers." I headed toward the back.
"If I'm not here when you get back, it's because I ran away with one of the customers to start a new life,"
she hollered. "You'll be back," I yelled over my shoulder. "No one can put up with your shit for long." I stepped into my tiny office and closed the door behind me. She was a firecracker. When she had walked through the door a year ago, essentially demanding I give her a job, I couldn't say no. She'd been all of 19, fresh out of school and looking for a job to support herself. I made it very clear she was not going to be making enough money to live in the lap of luxury. She said she didn't mind. She was feisty and took no shit from anyone. If I had a little sister, I imagine she would have been just like Cassia. I checked my watch, did the time difference, and estimated it was probably about 3 in the morning for Rand. I grinned, picked up my phone, and sent a quick message asking him if he was asleep. I waited, knowing he kept his phone nearby just in case of an emergency. The phone beeped. A fuck you message with an emoji of the middle finger made my day. I missed my friend, but he was happy, and that was what mattered. He had seemed to find his groove in the U.S., There was talk he'd be coming back one day, but for now he and Nicole were building a life together. He certainly deserved some happiness in his life. I put the phone aside and pulled up the inventory program on the computer. It was the end of summer, and the height of the tourist season was over. The world, except for a handful of savvy travelers, seemed to forget that the weather in Crete was beautiful until at least the end of October. Hell, compared to most of the world, winter was the perfect time of year in Crete. I loved the rain and the cool temps and the serious depletion of tourists. From a business standpoint, the lack of tourists was a bit of a downer, but we managed to keep the doors open. I capitalized on my unique flavors and the fact I was an Italian in Greece with an authentic gelato shop. It wasn't like they could go anywhere else to get my sweet treats. My phone rang. I expected it to be Rand, wanting to chew my ass out for waking him up, and now he couldn't get back to sleep. Turnabout was fair play. He'd been doing the exact same thing for close to a year. Granted, I didn't have a baby that kept me up at night, but I still liked my beauty sleep. I stared at the number, not immediately recognizing it, but then it hit me. "Oh, shit," I mumbled, staring at the phone as if it were a snake ready to strike. It was my dad or one of my dad's people. I couldn't imagine he would actually be calling me. The only time we talked was when he wanted to bitch at me for not being home. I often reminded him that home to me was Greece. We'd moved to Crete when I was a boy. I was raised in the city and chose to stay when they decided to move back to Italy. Crete was my home, Heraklion, to be specific. I knew if I didn't answer, there was a good chance he would send someone to the front door. He was that stubborn and demanding. I reached for the phone, closing my eyes and sending up a prayer for strength, and answered. "Hello, Dad," I answered, trying to sound upbeat. "I'll be in town tonight. We have dinner at Avli at 7. I'll see you then." He ended the call without another word.